So we have the long delayed 2019 7A review. If you're just looking at this on the YouTube channel, I know we're fresh off the 2020 finals, so don't get confused. This is the 2019 7A finals. It's long delayed. We missed it over the summer because by the time we got ready to do it, we had to start getting the online clinics ready. Since we had moved all our camps online, had to start getting all that ready, and then we were into the season. So this one got delayed and delayed. Now we're finally bringing it out. So there's still a lot of stuff to look at, even though it is over a year old. There's always good stuff to look at, so we're going to roll right into it. Alright, so the right defensive end, this is early in the game. This is the 8th play, maybe. Early in the game, and the right defensive end, he is offsides, or he's in the neutral zone. And the headline judge said this early in the game, this is talking to, which is fine. Early in the game, you just want to, obviously, you're yelling at them from over there, they're not going to hear you. It's good, though, to do it anyway, because maybe the coaching staff can hear you, and they can tell them to back it up. But this, like I said, the official deemed this a talking to, and that is fine early in the game. However, if you do it, if you talk to him now, and then he does it again, does it later, then we got to flag it. But early in the game, you just want to get a talking to on this. That's perfectly okay. Alright, so here's a weird one. So the headline judge has a flag for offsides. Why he hit the headline judge's flag? No. Hold on, look at the note. Let me look at the notes. The line judge had the flag for receivers being offsides or lined up in the neutral zone. Headline judge referee had flags for players not being set before the snap. So you got one official dead ball foul, one official live ball foul. Kind of a cluster, but I mean, it happens. Camera angle is inconclusive, but it doesn't matter either way. You're going to kill it. Like I said, you got one with dead ball foul, one with a live ball foul, so, they're going to kill it. 2 different fouls. It is what it is. Like I said, there's no definitive one way or another whether or not they were offsides. A couple of things, though, here. On a pre-snap dead ball foul, which, remember, if you're announcing it, if you have a pre-snap dead ball foul, false start, something like that, encroachment, and you have a mic, remember, we're not going to put our hand in the air to indicate a dead ball foul. You just say prior to the snap, false start. That's just a sidetrack. But anyway, so we got it killed. Either way, you're going to have a foul in the offense because they weren't set. I will say that if we have a pre-snap foul, there's really no need for the field judge to run up and grab and cover the flag. The reason we cover the flag on spot fouls. So if the foul is going to be enforced from where the penalty flag is, so the spot of the foul, then we would have an official come and cover that flag in case the flag gets kicked, gets knocked, or whatever. If we have a pre-snap foul like this, well, we already know our enforcement is going to be the previous spot, so there's no need to cover the flag. Good job by the umpire and the back judge. A little dead ball officiating back here. There was some extracurricular activity, a little jawing. Good job them coming in, dead ball officiating that. So a lot of weird stuff going on this play. It was handled well. Nothing to knock here on how they handled it. Sequence starters from the beginning. The line judge punches this forward. Oh, it's clearly backwards. So just, try to. There's a lot going on for the line judge, a lot to look at. When we do have pitches, we do like you even a pitch like this. Everyone in the world knows this is a backward pass. It's a design pitch. Clearly back. We still like you punching it just to get you in the habit of doing it. And it just clearly tells everyone we're paying attention and we see it, we know it's backwards. more importantly, like I said, just get you in the habit of doing it. So, but this is clearly backwards. It looks like he starts to go backwards and then goes forward. So just, just slow it down in your head. We don't have to be in a hurry to punch this one way or the other, especially when they catch it like this. There's no hurry. So just kind of process it for a second, slow it down in your head, and give your indication backward while still officiating. I know there's a lot going on. He's probably looking at this, making sure he's got everything clean right there. So just slow it down. We don't have to be in a hurry to make that indication. Good call for DPI right here. It's a weird play. It's hard to tell because the camera gets shaky, but if you watch the GPV feed, you see it clear. He falls down. Everything right now is incidental. That's all fine. But while he's down, he makes intentional movement and intentional action to prevent this player from getting the pass. He kind of grabs him by the legs and trips him. So, good job of the D for staying on this play, staying with it. Like I said, we're fine here. This is all incidental. Then he grabs him, deliberately prevents him from making the pass. Which, honestly, as a defensive player, it's not a bad move to make. In the high school game, because in high school you're not gonna get the automatic first down. There's not an automatic spot or anything. We don't spot it on the 2 or the 1. So the second down, so it's just going to be half the distance and repeat the down. And it takes away guaranteed end zone. So it's not a bad move by the defense there. All right. I've heard some people ask, and there is inclination in the rule book. I almost hesitate to even bring this up to give you guys ideas, but some people would ask, would you consider the 15-yard intentional extra 15, the extra intentional DPI? So then the rule book is an indication you have DPI is 15 yards. If you deem it an intentional DPI, you can add another 15 yards in a second foul. That is a very rare occurrence. I would almost put it in the category of Sasquatch, maybe even unicorn. So be very, very cautious to use that. It's got to be, I'm thinking, if you're a basketball fan, I'm thinking somewhere in the lines of the guy goes up for a layup, the guy comes in and just tackles him. That would be an intentional foul. Think along those terms. And even then, like I said, be very, very hesitant to use that. This, in my opinion, would not fall under the intentional DPI. It's just, use that rarely. Like I said, Sasquatch, maybe even unicorn category. Because that's you just don't want to get in the habit of doing that. There's a reason we don't see it very often. So we're not going to get a great forward progress spot here. Seems like our deeps are a little off sync. And I think I put this in the online camp for the deeps. Alright, so the spot of the catch, that's gonna go on your back judge. Alright, so where the kick is caught, recovered, however you want to deem it, that's all on the back judge. And if you know me, you've seen these videos, I'm not a huge fan of throwing a beanbag. Just don't like doing it. I don't think it looks good. Well, it's not so much about looks. Beanbags aren't the most accurate. They're not as accurate as a flag. So when you throw it, it's really hard to get to your good spot. But in this case, I'm okay with it because the back judge kind of needs to stay with this. He can't come up. He's got to get that spot. So the kick ends on the 47. That's where the kick is caught. And we want to give him that forward progress because, he doesn't go back on the zone at all. Catches it and immediately hit. and then it's kind of driven back. So he is entitled to the 47 where he caught the ball. And that's the back judge's call. He has the recovery. So, and he has a beanbag down. Like I said, I'm not opposed to throwing a beanbag in that case. But if you watch the next play, you can see where they gave him the ball. They gave him the ball at the 43. We're going to come back to this next play. So, like I said, should have got the 47. Play one, they give him the 43. So, he's entitled to where he caught the ball. Since he caught it and then was immediately hit and driven back. He didn't go back on the zone. So, alright, on to this next play. Speaking of. Gonna watch the action on the receiver. Some people have asked, hey, should this be DPI? I like it no DPI. I mean, there's nothing. He doesn't slow him down. Does he get his hands on him? Maybe. But does he slow him down? No. He does not impede this ability to catch this pass at all. And hits him right in the hands. He's able to get both hands to the ball. Doesn't really slow him down. Now, one part where you may have, and it has to be a deep field to see it. It may be right at the end when you have, maybe give a quick tug right before the ball hit the hands. Then maybe you got a DPI. From everything I see in the film right now, even the replay on the GPV feed, I don't see a DPI here. Pretty good coverage. So it's a good no call. Alright, so we're 36th play of the game. It's been a little chippy, so maybe you tighten it up a little bit. So we get a call for holding. Right there, you can see him, he takes him down, kind of whirls him around, and a good call. And there was, I don't have it on the huddle feed. There's some dead ball action going on around here. Again, you got a chippy game. 36 plays in, so it's about the time where we're, stop the talking and actually start throwing the flags if you have to. So, because you got both players chicken fighting, you can pop them both and there's no harm done. Personal foul. It's not a UNS, so it doesn't go against their count. If you got a chippy game, don't be afraid to throw the flag. If you've been warning them and talking to them, don't just do it in the first offense. Talk to them first. Alright, so we get asked a lot, and I'm sure it's all over. What about targeting on the runner? Not against the runner. The runner lowering his head and delivering the targeting. What about that? And this one is close. I think you have to have a very high threshold to call that, because the runner's protecting himself. He's doing what he has to protect himself. So you really, really got to make sure, if you're going to call targeting on the runner, that, by the runner, I should say, the runner doing the targeting, you almost have to have the same kind of, is he delivering the same force? Is he doing it the same way that you would a defender? As in, is he coming in and deliberately attempting to make forceful contact with the crown of his helmet? You have to make that determination. Don't have it here. To me, this is a falling. He's coming through the line. He stumbles a bit there, and he just kind of falls into it. So I like the call for no targeting here. Again, if you're going to do targeting by the runner, you got to kind of have, it's a little bit, I know it is a higher threshold, but at the same time, you kind of have the same criteria as, it's he forcefully and deliberately trying to deliver a blow using the crown of his helmet. If he's not, then we're not going to go with the targeting. So, again, it's a good no call there. In this play, we're going to have a good job. We got a long run. Good job, field judge, getting the spot. Line judge coming down, cleaning up that play. Everything about this is done really well. So, you're the field judge. You get about 15 yards where you know it's coming at you. It's going to come at you fast. You're in position, make a decision. You can see field judge. There's no such thing, at least to me, of being too far off the pylon. At the very least, you should be out of the white. You want to get back further? It's fine with me. Further the better. So great job here, the field judge. He's far back as he needs to be. Has a great spot here. And you see the line judge coming down, cleaning everything up. Good job all around there. Alright, so let's look at this from perspective of the lay hit out of bounds. This is called. Field judge comes in and calls this. So when we talk about lay hit out of bounds, especially if the contact happens in the field of play like it does here, in order to get lay hit out of bounds, we're looking for one thing: any kind of extra action or a second action, really. That kind of second force after the ball carriers out of bounds, a second force that kind of brings them to the ground, pushes them, shoves them, or whatever. And we don't have that here, unless there's something we're missing, unless there's some kind of pull down here at the end. It looks like it's all just a continuation of what started in bounds. Just because he comes down to the ground doesn't mean it was a lay hit. If it starts out of bounds and momentum just going to bring him to the ground, that's fine. Now, if there is an extra force here, an extra action, pull, tug, something out of bounds, then we would have a lay hit out of bounds. Film just doesn't back that up. Maybe something was seen in person, but I don't see anything on the film to back up and justify a second action. Alright, so ineligible downfield has kind of been a point of emphasis all year. So it's 3 yards when the quarterback releases the ball. That's what we're looking for. So our line of scrimmage, 38. So we have linemen ineligible. So we have ineligible receivers, linemen or whoever. Any ineligible receiver beyond the 35 when the ball leaves quarterback's hand, which is now, then you can consider it has to be more than 3 yards. So he has to be beyond 35. They're more than 3 yards. You have eligible downfield. To me, this is just a little bit too ticky tacky, especially since he's being engaged. Another thing you gotta look at too is when they're engaged, are they being pulled by the defender? Are they being pushed by the defender? Being engaged now, we're not gonna just make that a cop out. If he's got him engaged and he's forcefully driving him downfield, and they're beyond 3 yards when the ball is released, then yeah, we want to consider eligible downfield. But they're just simply engaged right here. He's right at 3 yards. Ball comes out. We let that one go. There's no advantage gained right there. Let's look at the right side of the formation. It's hard to tell exactly from this angle, but you can tell even from this angle. Right side of the formation is probably really far off the ball. And this is play number 90. Yeah, number 90. So at this point we would, let's fly this. 90 plays into the game. And we'd already talked to him once, remember? Back in very early in the game, we talked to him about getting lined up right. Even though that was an issue of being in the neutral zone, this is being way off the line. we still want to, it's time to throw the flag on this. So let's get this right. We don't want to let this go. All right, intentional grounding. This is obvious. So even though he's rushed, but he's not yet in grasp. He's just kind of this is an obvious intentional grounding. No one within 10 yards, probably not even 20 yards. He was under duress. This is obvious. This is a good call here. Good pickup. Let's look at where we're snapping the ball. We're on the right hash. You're going to have a reverse, pass, incomplete pass. DPI was called. We'll look at the DPI here in a second. Next play, you can see we're inside the hash. So let's just make sure. I know that mostly umpire, referee can help too, kind of make it, a team effort. Make sure that we are snapping the ball where we're supposed to be snapping it. All right. So let's go back and look at the DPI. Hook and turn was the category. See if we have the hook and turn. It's just not there. For hook and turn, you got to have a good solid turn. This isn't even a hard sell. This is not a sell at all. There's no turn. In fact, you can see he makes a play on the ball. And even though a lot of times you'll see them, they'll hook them, they'll turn them, and then they'll try to throw their hand out like they're making a play on the ball. But most of the play is on the receiver on that turn. Here, there's just not a turn here. You gotta have the hook and the turn. Remember, is the defender trying to keep the ball from getting to the receiver, or is he trying to keep the receiver from getting to the ball? So what we want to ask ourselves. So let's pass on this DPI. All right, last one we're going to look at. Another intentional grounding one. By rule, this should be intentional grounding. I don't like it. This is one play where I wish we had a grounding rule for high school, but we just don't. The by rule is intentional grounding. And you can go one way or the other. He's within 10 yards. I think if the receiver keeps running, you get a better argument that this is legal. But this correctly called intentional grounding. If they throw it way out of bounds like that, it's hard to tell. If he were in the grasp of a defender and the ball goes out of bounds like that, I think you can sell this as not intentional grounding. But he just kind of nonchalantly throws it. He's got to, who really wants to make this, he's just got to sell it over that receiver's head. I mean, that's the best way to do it right there. When he goes out of bounds like that, it kind of puts us in a bind. We got to call it. So this is a good call for intentional grounding. I don't like it. I wish it weren't. But we have to officiate within the rules that we have. So that is it for the 2019 7A. Over a year overdue, but hey, we did it. So I hope you got a lot out of this. Remember, this is not to belittle any of the officials on this crew. We're just trying to get better, trying to point ways that we can get better by mistakes and things that are gotten right. So I hope you liked it. Remember, subscribe. If you do subscribe, remember click on the bell so you get updates. And we will see you on the next review.